Hello everybody, my name is Jeffrey, and in this tutorial I'm going to explain what shaders are, and we are going to start creating our shader class. We won't be using any shaders in this tutorial, but we're going to in the next one, probably. So, first of all, what are shaders? Well, shaders are programs which are run on the graphics card to manipulate vertices or pixels. We are going to be using two types of shaders, vertex shaders and fragment shaders. Vertex shaders are shaders which manipulate the vertices, and fragment shaders manipulate the pixels. So, yeah, that's basically all I have to tell you. So, let's get started with our shader class. We're going to create an abstract class because we want to use a lot of different types of shaders, and each one requires a different implementation in our code. So let's start off by creating a shader sub-package in our graphics package and create the shader class. And make sure to make this an abstract class. Okay, and we'll start off by creating a constructor, so public shader. Just like we created our model, we have to get a position on the graphics card to store our shader programs on. So that's what we're going to do here as well. So private int program, and we're going to set the program equal to gl create program, and we'll have to import OpenGL 2.0. So import static org.lightweight Java game library.opengl.gl20.star. Okay, and what did I do wrong? I forgot an R. Okay, and we'll also check if the OpenGL returned a valid memory location. So if program equals 0, which is basically an invalid location, then we're going to print out something. So system.error.println shader creation failed, no valid memory. Okay, and we're going to exit, so system.exit 1 error, which is basically says it's an error. Why do we do this? Well, if we can't use our shaders, there's basically no point of continuing. So that's what we're going to do. The next thing, we have to read our shader programs from a text file, because that's how we're going to make them. But before we do that, well, you can probably see already I've done this before I started recording this tutorial. So I've created two folders in here, which you can do: right click on your project, click new, and create a new folder. Create a res folder for resources and a shaders folder, and that's where we're going to store all our shader programs. So public static string load shader. We're going to load our shader text, and we're going to take in a string for the file name. In here we're going to create a string builder source, and we're going to set it equal to new string builder. And we're going to create a buffered reader. We're going to call it reader, and we're going to set it equal to null for now. Now we're going to create a try and catch statement. So try and catch. We're going to catch exception e, and e.print stack trace, and system exit 1. And after that we're going to return source.toString. So, and now we'll write the code which actually reads the file. So reader equals new buffered reader, and it's going to take in a new file reader, and this is going to take in the file location. So create a string, and this will represent the path of our shader program. So this point basically says, hey, start in here, then we're going to the rest folder, and then to the shaders folder, so shaders. And after this we're going to use our file name, so file name, and we'll have to import these classes, and that's it. Okay, next thing, string line, and this basic well, this is the basics on how to read a file, a text file, that is. So while line equals reader dot read line doesn't equal null, and this basically reads the next line, and if the next line equals equals null, it's going to break out of the while loop. And then source dot append line. That's it. After we're done reading, just type reader.close, because we want to clean up everything after we're done. And that's it. That's how you read a file. Okay, next thing that we're going to do. We're going to create a method which actually sends the text to the graphics card. So private void add program. We're going to take in two variables. First one will be a string for the text. The second one will be an integer for the type. This type, I'll explain to you why we need the type later. So, gl, nee, wait, I meant to say no, but in Dutch we say nee. Well, it's the equivalent of no, but yeah. Int shader equals gl create shader of type. You can basically see we're going to specify this type somewhere else. If shader equals 0, we're going to do basically the same thing as here. No valid memory. Well, we can leave it like that. Well, okay, gl shader source, we're going to tell our OpenGL what the actual source code of our shader is. So shader and text. Oh, and so, and then we're going to compile the text. So gl compile shader, and we're going to compile the shader. And next thing, if gl get shader I, which gl get shader basically gets the status or information about the shader, and I says we want to get it as an integer, and type shader, and we want gl compile status, and if it is equal to 0, then we're going to do something like this. But instead of saying outputting our own text, we're going to do something else. gl get shader info log, so that we can output what went wrong exactly. So we're going to get the actual output log of OpenGL. So shader. So we want to get the output log of our shader, and we want it about 1 kilobyte long. Okay, and final thing, gl attach shader. We want to attach the shader to the program, so that we can use this variable whenever we want to use our shader programs. The next thing, we're going to create two shortcut methods. So one for the vertex shader and one for the fragment shader. So protected void add vertex shader string text. And here I'm going to type add program text and type gel vertex shader after this. And that is just so that if we create those classes which extend the shader class, we don't have to type this entire line, well, this entire variable out, so yeah, makes it more easy. And we're going to copy this method and create the fragment shader, just like that. And now we'll have to compile all of the program, so protected void compile shader and gel link program if, and now we're going to test if something went wrong again. So I'm just going to copy this. Gl get program I, and in here we're going to enter the program. And is this shader? Well, yeah. And then we're going to do the next thing. So gl validate program. It's a bit slow, but I'm still sick, so please forgive me. If you want to speed up everything because I'm talking a bit slowly, you can go right in the right bottom corner of the video. There's that cog. Click on that, and you can probably increase the speed to about 1.5, and I believe that will help a lot. So, but I am sick and I have to get these videos out, so yeah. I'm sorry. Gl get pro. Oh wait, I'm going to copy this again. I'm lazy. And I forgot to change this actually. Gl link status. And this must be gl false. And here we're going to type gl validate status, and this should be false. We want to check for gl false as well, and which means that we also have to import gl 1.1. And after that we want to bind attributes, but we'll create this method shortly after. Okay, now we want sorry, we want two methods: a public void bind method, which is says we want to use these shaders currently, so gl use program, and a public static void unbind, and gl use program 0. Okay, two final methods for this class: public abstract void bind attributes. Well, that was the first one. And protected void bind attribute. And we're going to take in a few variables: a integer for the which attribute, and a string for the variable name. So variable name. And gl bind attrib location of the program. We're going to bind the attribute to location variable name. Yeah, I believe that's it. And now we can call bind attributes over here. And that's your shader class. So that was it for this tutorial. This was a longer tutorial than I would like the tutorials to be, but yeah, exceptions have to be there. So yeah, I'm sorry for my bad voice and everything, but I'm still a bit sick, and I hope you can forgive me. So yeah, that was it. That was it for this tutorial, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.